Yeah, I mean he's a young guy. He's feeling himself a little bit. He's out there running around. He's got the chain on. He's dancing. I feel like everybody needs something. So you know, but we've went against QBs who have ran around in the pocket and have tried to do stuff with their legs. So ain't nothing we haven't seen.
I absolutely loved what Jonathan Cooper said there to the media. He's not trying to diminish Dart necessarily. He's just saying that his fun is going to be very short lived when he comes to Denver this Sunday and takes on the Broncos. And Cooper's won Defensive Player of the Week consecutive weeks now. He won it last week and he won it the week before that. So clearly, this guy knows how to play football at the highest possible level. Also, Nick Benito is a candidate for Defensive Player of the Year. So you've got two elite edges on each side of the ball. And then inside, of course, you've got Zach Allen. And speaking of good rushers, we're going to get to see for the first time this season linebacker Dre Greenlaw, as he practiced for the first time since landing on injured reserve with a quad injury that, of course, impacted him since April. And his 21-day window officially opened. He was a limited practice participant at the time of me recording this. So the Denver defense is going to get even scarier. I mean, it's already been the best in football. Teams haven't had an answer for it. The one team that honestly had an answer for it was the Colts. And the reason they did is because the Colts have an elite offensive line and they won the game. I mean, they still shouldn't have won because of a leverage call. That was BS. You guys know how I feel about that. It's just stupid. But still, I mean, that was the one game that the Broncos defense didn't play well in. But no team has an offensive line like the Colts. They're number one in basically every category offensively in terms of blocking. The Giants don't have a good offensive line. The Chargers don't have a good offensive line. And we saw, of course, 15 hits on Herbert in that game and 5 sacks. Pretty crazy to think about. Again, like the Broncos should be undefeated. I'm not going to sit up here and talk about that the entire video. They've beaten themselves. The Jets game, they beat themselves. Of course, Sean Payton was way too conservative and didn't push the ball down the field. This team can't run the ball. Take away Bo Nix, they're 27th in rushing. That's horrible, guys. I mean, design runs clearly not working. So Sean Payton needs to get it together. He needs to put his offense into a situation to succeed. But defensively, Denver is the best in football. They just wreak havoc. They've got good linebackers. They've got good safeties, good defensive backs. They've got good guys up front, good guys on the edge. Like overall, collectively, it's just an amazing defense. And 9 sacks on Justin Fields summarized how good this unit truly is. And I know Fields holds onto the ball, and a lot of that was his fault, but he really had nowhere to go with the ball. And that's been a common theme for opposing quarterbacks is they have nowhere to go with the ball. And if you look at Jackson Dart, for a young quarterback especially, he does a good job of stepping up in the pocket and extending plays and getting rid of it. But still, I mean, he hasn't been good under pressure, and he's going to be under pressure a ton. And there really aren't many quarterbacks who are good under pressure. Like, it's very rare you see a quarterback that, hey, look, when you got a hand in his face, he's better. Like, it doesn't really work like that. I mean, for basketball, it kind of like some players just with a hand in their face, they make more shots for some reason. But in football, no. With a clean pocket, guys are obviously significantly better. And that's why Dart has seen so much success because he went up against the Chargers who were without Khalil Mack. And I didn't watch the Eagles game, so I'm not going to speak on that specifically. But the Charger game, well, there was no rush. And Dart had all day to throw. And of course, he's going to be able to buy time. And when you drop 7 back into coverage and you rush 4 and the rush doesn't get home, well, now all of a sudden, Dart is using his legs, which is another weapon in itself. That's not the thing for the Broncos, though, is, well, they will blitz you. Like, Denver loves to blitz, and they're going to blitz Dart a ton. But they also feel comfortable to rush 4 and to drop 7 back into coverage and still be able to get home. I mean, it's not like, Nick Benito is getting all these sacks off of blitzes and he's unblocked. Like, no, like Nick Benito is working through 1, 2, even 3 guys at times to be able to get home. But you can't really put doubles on. Like, Zach Allen certainly can't go one-on-one. Jonathan Cooper is becoming one of the best defensive players overall in football. Nick Benito for the past couple of years now has been one of the best, and he might even win Defensive Player of the Year. And then you got Pat, who, of course, you can shadow anyone. You got Moss, who, say what you want, I know a lot of Bronco fans are the biggest Moss fans. I like him personally. I think he's a talented player. He's only going to get better as well, and he can hold his own, especially in those jump ball situations. And not to mention Jahdae Barrett, who's really started to pick it up lately. Rookie out of Texas. Hookah, man. I lived in Texas for a couple of years recently. This defense has what it takes to get the Broncos to a Super Bowl. The offense has held this team back, though. Like, even in that game against the Colts, the defense wasn't good. But it's not like it didn't give up 40 points. 29 points at the top of my head they gave up. Bo Nix throws an interception with right towards the beginning of the fourth quarter when that took points off the board. And then, of course, Will Lutz missed a kick. I mean, you give up over 500 yards of total offense, you don't deserve to win anyway. But there's got to be at least sometimes where the defense can get bailed out by the offense. But that hasn't happened, and that hasn't happened actually in really the Sean Payton era. If I'm being completely honest with you, is the defense when Sean first got here was horrible, as we all know. I mean, they gave up 70 to the Dolphins, but ever since, of course, Vance Joseph has taken over, I mean, he's just looked like an absolute genius. But the offense last season, it was kind of the same as last season, man. I mean, the Broncos just don't push the ball down the field. They're very conservative with just draws, and they'll throw it underneath the sticks. And Bo Nix is at his best when he's pushing the ball down the field. You got Troy Franklin, Marvin Mims, Pat Bryant, Cortland Sutton, Evan Engram. Like, these guys need to be getting down the field, let their routes sort of progress and get open and develop. And the Broncos just don't do that. They're throwing it quickly. They're predictable. They'll run it on first down. They'll run it on second down. And then third and long, and they don't pick it up, and then the offense is out on a 3 and out. Like, that's been a common theme. And then, not to mention as well, Troy Franklin did lose a fumble early on in the game against the Jets, and then, of course, there was a huge return right after that. So it's just, man, the special teams and the offense like needs to get it together, because even if the offense is just average, I think the Broncos can legitimately win the AFC and go to the Super Bowl. I mean, we've seen them go toe-to-toe with the Chargers, and they always lose by one score. They lost by a game-winning field goal this year. The Chiefs game, both of those were close. Like, literally, I mean, I know the Chiefs aren't really the team they have been the past couple of seasons. I think they're still good. But the Broncos, they're always in these games. Like, the one team, well, the Bills honestly got us in the second half. The Ravens blew us out. But, like, most of the time is the Broncos are in these games. And even, like, the first quarter was pretty competitive against the Ravens, though. But there's only so much you can do in today's NFL if you can't push the ball down the field. And even, like, what if the Broncos just actually were more methodical and just took time off of the clock? Because imagine how even better their defense would be if they just possessed the ball more and gave them a breather, because it just asking way too much out of this unit. And even the Bills game, because you have context matters. Like, the reason why speaking of Dre Greenlaw and Talanoa Hufanga, the reason why the Broncos went out and got those players was literally because of the Bills game. Well, it wasn't specifically that, but there was a big hole in the defense. It was the middle of the defense. It didn't do a good job of tackling. And Hufanga, that's what he does best. And then, certainly Greenlaw is good at that as well. He's a linebacker that can go sideline to sideline. And when he's healthy, is one of the more prolific players in this league. 2 former Niners, of course. This defense is so fun to watch. Like, I just love watching the Denver Broncos play football every single Sunday. Is this going to be a close game against the Giants? I know at the beginning of the video, I've recorded this like 3 times, sorry, but I don't remember if this track or the last track or the one before that I said that it wouldn't be a close game. It is going to be a close game because I don't really have any faith in the offense. They have to give me a reason to have that. It'll be close. It'll probably be 20-13, maybe 20-10, something like that. It's going to be within reach, but the reason is solely just because the defense cannot hold up every single possession. Like, it's not realistic. Like, that's not going to happen. But they will bail out the offense during short field and hold them to 3, which is what they did against the Jets. And, I'm just asking, please, I'm literally begging Sean Payton to just let Bo Nix cook this game and to have one of those 270, 280-yard, 3-touchdown games and run the ball well, too, man. I want to see this. I just want to see a good offensive game, bro. Is it that hard to ask for? But, yeah, guys, it's your boy, Daily Broncos. I'm signing out. Peace.